Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has just seen the highest weekly candle close since the beginning of May. This is a very bullish sign on the big picture, and it actually puts us very close towards the all-time high for Bitcoin. In just a moment in this video, I'll be going over all of my next Bitcoin price targets and some very important support and resistance levels to pay attention to. This video is just going to be a quick one, so make sure you're watching all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, if all of that sounds good to you, make sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 1 week time frame. So each one of these candles is an entire week. What we can see here is obviously we just finished a week and we've just started a new week. And this previous weekly candle closed at around 54.7K approximately. And as I said in the intro of this video, we have not had a weekly candle close this high since the beginning of May. So we're definitely on the right path for the bull market to continue. There's really only two last resistance points that we need to break above before Bitcoin is sitting in brand new all-time highs. And to get the first major resistance point for Bitcoin, we have to bring out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to this $29,000 low. And what we have here is the 78.6% Fibonacci level coming in at just above 57,000 US dollars. And you can clearly see that right now, Bitcoin is currently testing this Fibonacci level. So we're getting very close to potentially breaking above this level. And if we do see a strong break above 57K, then in that case, it's very likely that we're going to continue up towards the all-time high. And by the way, I've already mentioned this on the channel, but for any new viewers, the 78.6% Fibonacci level is actually not as important as the golden pocket. And what we can see here, at least on the Bitstamp chart, is we actually just had a wick down towards the golden pocket and a perfect bounce along the golden pocket, which acted as a retest. Previously, the golden pocket was huge resistance all the way back here in the beginning of September. So the fact that we've just broken back above it and now we're testing the 78.6% Fibonacci level, this is once again definitely heading in the bullish direction. And also what's interesting about this area right here at around 57K, not only is that a Fibonacci level that we need to be paying attention to, but that is this volume cluster on the VP/VR indicator. The main part of this volume cluster is coming in at around 55,000, and this volume cluster really ends up towards around 58,500, nearly 59,000. So that range on the chart could be acting as a bit of short-term resistance, and that's actually what we've experienced over the past few days, because for the subscribers out there, you would already know that about 5 days ago now, I let you guys know that it's very likely we're going to have a little bit of a short-term cool-off, probably only for a few days, and we did indeed see that. We saw around 4 days worth of sideways price action where Bitcoin was just cooling off after this huge move to the upside and regaining its strength, ready for the next push to the upside, because obviously throughout that entire time, I was remaining bullish. I was clearly saying that we're in a strong uptrend here and it's only a matter of time before we flip even more bullish again. And right now we're potentially beginning the next leg to the upside, but we really need to break above that Fibonacci level at 57K and also the top of this range, which is at around 58,000, give or take. And so after we start making our way up towards 60,000 US dollars, the final resistance point that we could be running into before we're in brand new all-time highs is the all-time high itself. And right now that's coming in at around 65,000, just below 65,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. And it's quite common for us to find a little bit of resistance along the all-time high before we eventually break out. We've seen that happen a lot of times in the past. It doesn't necessarily have to happen, but it's just another potential point of resistance before we start experiencing brand new all-time highs. And by the way, from the current price where we are right now at the time of filming this video to the all-time high, we're only around a 14, nearly 15% gain away before hitting the brand new all-time high. So that's right, a 15% gain until we're in brand new all-time highs. And just to put that into perspective, over the last 7 days, we have seen a 17% gain for Bitcoin in just 1 week. So if we literally see the exact same gain that we saw over the last 1 week, then that will put us into a brand new all-time high. That is how close we are from the all-time high. And I'll tell you right now, when we do break above the all-time high, when we're in price discovery, that's when things start to get crazy for Bitcoin. I mean, you could just take a look at the last example where we saw a major all-time high breakout. Of course, that was above the $20,000 all-time high that we set back in 2017. We saw that breakout in December of 2020, and you can see here exactly what happened. We found a little bit of resistance along that all-time high breakout, and then once we finally broke above 20,000, Bitcoin absolutely exploded from around 20,000 all the way up to 60,000 pretty much before the next major pullback. But even though I sound very bullish right now, it's still important to stay grounded and not get too euphoric, because nothing ever goes up in a straight line. We're always going to have have, short-term pullbacks and points of resistance along the way. So just keep that in mind as well. We still have a bit of resistance above us in the immediate short term before we can potentially start experiencing some of that crazy price action. And now zooming into the 4-hour time frame to take a look at some price targets for Bitcoin. Over the past few hours, Bitcoin has broken above this previous point of resistance at around $55,500 approximately. And what we need to see now is the volume start picking up a little bit more and possibly a retest of this previous resistance point and flip it into support. If we can see that play out, that would be obviously amazing to see because that's extra confirmation of the breakout. And so this $55,500 level is now a level that Bitcoin needs to hold above in order to remain bullish just in the imminent short term. Because if we can see some more confirmation of this breakout, then that sets up the bull flag price target, which if you're measuring from this low just here at around 47.3K, that technical price target is coming in at around $62,000, just above 62K. So that's pretty close to the all-time high. But if you're measuring the flagpole from this low at around 41,000, obviously that gives us another price target to pay attention to potentially. And that price target is coming in at around $68,500. So definitely a major opportunity. And that would put us into a brand new all-time high if we can play out that price target. And by the way, from the current price to that price target, you're talking about a 20% gain. But as I said earlier, there's still those other points of resistance like 57 to 58,000 and the all-time high break that we still cannot forget about. And if we can't get above the 78.6% Fibonacci level on the first attempt, which by the way, if we saw that, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. It'll just lead into a bit of a rejection here before eventually coming back up and probably breaking it sometime later. But yeah, if we do find a bit of resistance there and turn around, then as I said, it's important that we hold above this point of resistance at around $55,500. But if we start breaking any lower than that, then we really need to hold above around $53,000. That's where the top of the golden pocket is coming in at, and definitely a level that we need to hold above in order to remain bullish. And also we've got this upwards trending support line coming in because you can clearly see we've found multiple bounces along this exact line of support, and this was potentially forming an ascending triangle pattern that I didn't actually cover on my Bitcoin videos, but I did mention this pattern in my Ethereum video. And so this gives us a slightly smaller price target to pay attention to. That one's coming in at around $58,000, which is towards the top of that volume cluster. And if Bitcoin does end up seeing a break above 65,000, breaking into a brand new all-time high, then where could we expect Bitcoin to go next? Well, as you can see here, we previously formed a huge cup and handle pattern, which is a bullish pattern, and we've already broken out to the upside, as you can see here. And this huge cup and handle pattern, which by the way is on the daily time frame, gives us a technical price target towards around $79,000, which by the way, from the current Bitcoin price to that price target, you're talking about a 40% gain potentially. But obviously it's still important that we look at these initial resistance levels first, because you can think of these initial resistance levels as kind of like hurdles that we need to jump over before we can even think about those higher price targets. But it's definitely still something interesting to take a look at, because we did indeed clearly form this pattern and we've already completed the pattern and we're potentially on our way towards this price target. So just to quickly summarize this video, the initial point of resistance that I'm looking at right now is at around 57 to 58,000, that little range just there, due to the 78.6% Fibonacci level and that volume cluster on the VP/VR indicator. Anything above that initial range of resistance, I'll be looking towards the all-time high as the next potential point of resistance. And then after that, that's when some of these bigger price targets come into play. And then as for areas of support, in case we do see a bit of rejection from these points of resistance, just quickly recapping, right now we've got one at around $55,500, and really around 53,000 is the huge point of support that we need to hold above in order to remain quite bullish here moving forward. And as always, I'll keep you guys updated every day here on the channel and also throughout the day in real-time updates over on my Twitter. So definitely make sure you're following me on Twitter if you haven't already. And my official Twitter is linked in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video or got something valuable out of the video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. I really do appreciate all of your support in the channel at the moment. I can't thank you guys enough. And make sure you're sharing these videos around with your friends and family, especially in a time like now where Bitcoin is potentially beginning its next major surge to the upside. There's seriously never been a better time to share these videos around with your friends and family. And also for those that missed it, I made a video recently here on the channel going over how I make passive income in crypto. So if you want to make free money every single day on top of your crypto holdings, that video is popping up right here. So definitely give that one a watch if you want to earn extra money throughout the day without any work required. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.